We start in Mpumalanga now, and with the festive season upon us, SANParks is tightening security in and around the Kruger National Park. It follows security concerns in the area since the killing of a German tourist in October. Now, that murder sparked concerns that bookings may be cancelled. We've got Silindelo Masikane, who is on the scene in Mpumalanga, and she's talking to us through the improved security measures. A very good morning to you once again, Silindelo Masikane. Earlier on, we saw the Cairo, who was able to locate a firearm in one of the family's cars that were traveling into the Kruger National Park, so showing the importance of the K9 unit. But what are some of the other interventions that have been embarked upon by SANParks?
So we will be speaking to the acting managing executive of the Kruger National Park, who's going to give us more details around the concerns from officials, because we know that they have increased security measures at the 5 entrance points. And you would remember that last month at the Numbi Gate, outside the Numbi Gate, unfortunately a German tourist was attacked and killed. And this has sparked concerns from officials here inside the Kruger National Park that they need to do something in order to ensure that locals and tourists coming to the park feel some kind of safety and security. So what we have seen, like you said, is that earlier we were at the Paul Kruger Gate, where we saw how the K9 unit has also been deployed in order to ensure that guests are not coming in with illegal contraband or exiting the park with illegal contraband. And we were also earlier on at the airport where we saw the Bat Hawk, which is a patrolling mechanism that's been also instituted to control or patrol in terms of wildlife crime. So, some of these measures have been instituted by officials ahead of the festive season, because with the influx of tourists, they are expecting that, there's going to be a lot of activity. Now, I do want to perhaps move a little bit closer while we await the managing executive. Good afternoon. How are you doing this afternoon?
Fine, and you?
Can you just tell me maybe where you guys are from and what brings you to the Kruger National Park?
We're from Nelspruit.
Okay. Are you just having a good day out with the family?
Yes.
Yeah. You heard what happened with the German tourist a month ago. Any concerns for safety and security for yourselves, perhaps?
Yeah, of course. More police visibilities. We need that desperately in this area.
Yeah.
We're from Pretoria, and we heard that all the time over the news.
Yes.
Yeah.
So were you concerned perhaps coming towards the Kruger that perhaps you may be attacked? And are you happy with some of the security that you saw at the gate?
Yeah, it's not much security. They were always there. It's the same still, but you're always alert. When you drive this way, you must look over your shoulder. All the time, yeah, no, that's a problem, definitely.
Definitely a problem.
They must close the Numbi Gate.
Sorry, hold on. So you were talking about the Numbi Gate where we saw that attack. Maybe tell me, what have you noticed there?
Yeah, definitely a high-risk area. And the Parks Department must seriously looking at closing that gate. And rather use alternative gates.
Yeah, because there's 4 other gates apart from Numbi.
Very close.
Yeah.
Very close, yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Cheers.
All right, some of those aspects coming from the locals here. Rafio, you can hear them telling us that, maybe SANParks needs to look into closing the Numbi Gates. I see that Ms. Govender is here. Thank you so much for your time, Doctor. Maybe just take us through some of the initiatives that you as the park have taken to beef up security around your gates and inside the park.
Thank you so much, and thank you for taking the time to come and visit us in the park. So yes, crime is an issue all over South Africa, and Kruger, unfortunately, is not immune to it. So even at our gates, and as tourists come to the park, they become victims of crime. And so we're doing what we can inside the park in terms of improving security at the gates, doing better checks, having K9 units actually check cars. We've got security cameras. We're working with private sector, and I think that this is important, to also bring the partners on board. We're working with both the private security companies as well as SAPS and the law enforcement agencies to try to improve visuals. So often crime happens when when no one is watching. So if you improve your visibility and your presence, you can at least reduce the crime or prevent crime completely. We also have gone on a drive to start to educate and make our tourists aware. Because often, when you're coming on a holiday, you let your guard down. You become relaxed. You think, oh, well, I'm on a holiday. Don't lock my car. Everything's okay. And tourists need to realize that they have to be aware. They have to be situationally aware. They have to take the necessary means to keep themselves safe. And so I think often tourist establishments have the impression that, that we shouldn't overmake or overplay the idea of crime, because then it makes people feel negative about it. But I think we have a duty to make people aware so that they can take the means while we work at preventing the crime.
Yeah. Maybe then just lastly, Dr. Govender, the impact that tourists possibly cancelling bookings could have on the park, and just your reassurance to them that, you've taken some of the measures to ensure that they are safe coming towards the park.
Sure. I think that was a big worry for us, is that because ecotourists are worried. They generally are risk averse. The minute they see crime picking up in an area, they choose to go elsewhere. So we've done what we can to let people know we are taking the means necessary. Don't cancel bookings. Behave in a certain way, and it will be okay. And we've seen that actually when we look at especially now, this time of year, we have a lot of international tourists that come to our park, and we're seeing that those numbers are still rising. We're lucky. We've been quite a resilient business, and even during this post-pandemic sort of phase, we're actually starting to see tourists returning and an increase in tourism numbers. So we want to keep it that way. We want to keep people safe, but we know that we have to work with the partners to get it done.
Thank you so much, Dr. Govender.
Thank you.
All right, that is Dr. Govender, one of the executives here at the Kruger National Park, just reassuring tourists and locals that, look, they've done everything they can to ensure that, when they get here, they are safe and secure, but they also should be aware themselves. In fact, Rafia, I was speaking to some tourists from Switzerland at the gate who were saying, they arrived here, they got here safely, they're quite impressed with the checks at the gate, and as you've heard from some of the guests, that perhaps SANParks themselves could relook maybe closing the Numbi gate, because some locals are saying that particular area is very much prone to crime.